Welcome back, Benchwarmers. We are halfway through the 2024 Summer Olympics, and we're here to recap some of the first week's headlines.
From rugby to gymnastics to beach volleyball, we got all the headlines covered for you here on another edition of Razor Fold. I'm Corey, swimming cap catcher.
And I'm Brendan, Simone Biles' loaded trophy case, and this is RB from the Bench. Before we get started, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes.
Also, if you could please do us the favor, if you like what you see or hear, please don't forget to smash that like button.
Come on, smash it for us. It's free. Free for you, it's free for us. It helps out the channel a lot more than you probably think. Summer Olympics, my friend.
Woo, 1 week through.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we've discussed offline how this is, I think, your favorite event in the whole world. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm a super Olympic fan. No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't seem to care. I guess because I don't follow it all the time, or it's not like teams that we watch consistently or all the time. And then randomly everyone gets excited for like pole vaulting for the one time in 4 years. So it's just, I don't know. Everyone gets excited, so it's cool, but I don't pay attention or watch everything religiously like some people do.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to put it. Not that it's not cool. It's just you're not paying attention as in depth as you are like the
Yeah.
regular sports that are on annual basis here in the United States. It is still pretty cool though to see, the country represented by some of the best athletes. Each of the countries represented by the best athletes in the world, and just seeing like raw competition and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So, and you get to see, as much as I do like the main four sports that we kind of discuss, it is kind of nice to kind of switch it up and see some swimming. I used to swim in high school, so that's kind of cool to see. And the gymnastics, these people are insane with what they can do with
Dude,
their
for real.
bodies. So some of the stuff is, it is cool. It is sports, but I'm kind of with you. Being that it's not something that we, kind of follow all the time. It's, not something that we know a ton about either. But
Yeah. Makes it a little harder too to like watching handball. I don't know all the rules. So like I know they
mm,
have to get the ball in the net, but like are you allowed to do how many steps or can you dribble how many dribbles? Like I don't know all the intricacies
actually,
of the
that's a
sport.
really
So
fun one to watch too.
it is fun to watch, but at the same time I have no idea what any of the rules are except for get the ball in the net.
Yeah, yeah. I actually just learned the other day from watching some of the rugby that's depending on where you score on the field is depending on where you kind of kick that
Oh,
extra point. So, yeah, because I was like, why don't they always just kick it in the middle? Why do some people have to kick it from all the way to the side? Well, it depends on where you land in the end zone. It depends on how close you kick it. So, yeah, I'm with you. Different rules for different sports, but still super fun.
we're learning
But we're
something.
back here. We wanted to, instead of just kind of going through a bunch of stuff, we wanted to have another edition, like Corey said, of Razor Fold. So we're going to break down some of, I believe we have what, 9 or 10 or so headlines here that we want to talk about. Let's see how in depth we want to get into them. So, Corey, please, let's kick it off.
All right. So
Deal some hands.
my first deal for you, sir, is Flavor Flav with women's water polo as a sponsor for the team.
Flavor Flav. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that sentence. I know. Take it in for a second.
Just because it sounds interesting already. Let's check. Let's check and see what more you have for me. So Flavor Flav is sponsoring the women's water polo team. I'm assuming they obviously it's not like all of these programs are heavily funded like
Exactly.
USA basketball is, right? So I'm assuming this is what they needed.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was Flavor Flav saw one of the members of the team post something about needing money for something, and then realizing they don't make a lot for playing water polo, so he decided to be like a sponsor and donate some money to them to help them get there and have a better opportunity to win. And now he's over there cheering in the crowd every game. And I did see a clip. I don't know if it was. I think it was prior to the Olympics, maybe like a trial game or something. But they did have him in the announcing booth, and him doing like, "Yeah, pass it, shoot it." Yeah, shoot that ball, like just like screaming at them more than announcing. It was actually really funny.
That's freaking awesome. Honestly, dude, I like the patriotism in it that he's doing something for the country. I like that he's helping women's sports out, especially with something as uh, you know, small as women's water. I mean, men's water polo is probably really small too, but everything for the women is just less funding for it most times. So good on Flavor Flav for stepping up. That's kind of something crazy that you wouldn't hear Flavor Flav doing something for the women's water polo team, but
Yeah.
hey, props, man. Props for stepping up because that's big. Obviously, nobody else has. So
Yeah, straight up. Hey, we got Snoop Dogg over there doing coverage for NBC. We got all kinds of people over there for the
that's
Olympics.
true. You know what? Real quick side note. Speaking of people hooking people up, Luel Deng, man, Luel Deng with the
Yeah.
South Sudan team. He's basically been funding that team by himself for the past like 4+ years.
Yeah.
They don't get to practice inside or anything like that. I know this is a crazy caveat, but just more support and stuff. It's not like Luol Deng was one of the highest paid NBA players or something like that. I mean, he had decent
No,
contracts.
but
Don't get me
I
wrong,
mean,
but
he also did get that contract for the Lakers that he didn't play very much of. So at least he's doing something with that money.
smart, right? Yeah, exactly. You're welcome. Lakers money right there, helping out South Sudan. All right, let's move on though. But yeah, let's move on. I got a hand for you here. Let's see. I don't know how interesting this one is because again, but U.S. men's gymnastics team medals for the first time since 2008.
Now,
It was
that's
not a gold.
awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome that they medaled for the first time in a long time and everything. But like, I also don't know any of them. It's not like the girls' team where you know them all by name because they've been there a couple times. I don't know anything
Hmm.
about these guys, so the story is not as intriguing as like, oh, did they do it again? It's more just like, well, good, congrats for you guys, but I'm gonna fold.
Okay, all right, but props to the men.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no hating on them for medaling.
Good job, guys. Way to bring back some bit of glory to the United States. All right,
All right.
your turn.
So, U.S. beach volleyball player slash former NBA player plays in the Olympics.
Okay, I feel like I might have heard this story, so let's see if we're talking about the same person. I'll check.
Yeah, so Chase Budinger, who played in the
Okay,
NBA for 7 years, actually went to U of A, so bear down, and he's a SoCal kid. I think he's from like I want to say Santa Barbara or somewhere down here in the SoCal area. So maybe
Encinitas.
oh,
Yeah,
Encinitas. Okay, perfect. But he actually played volleyball in high school and played in college until ultimately, obviously, NBA calls and you got to make millions of dollars. You go play in the
yeah,
NBA.
right.
But then once his knees kind of bad, kind of wear out, and he wasn't as good of a player anymore, he decided to go back to volleyball, and here he is playing in the Olympics in beach volleyball for the first time. So it's crazy.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Down to represent. I think I saw him play in because I was telling my wife about this. I saw one of the matches that he played in. I believe they were losing, or they maybe ended up losing, but it was a close game. So, but just the
Mhm.
fact that you can be that good into different sports. Now, granted, they're both with the ball and they're both jumping, but they're completely different. Like sports, the
Yeah,
only thing that they have in common is that you jump and there's a ball involved. So, to be able to make it to the NBA, he played. What is this? 8 seasons or so in the NBA. Averaged 8 points a game. I mean, you know the guy's name, so it's not like
yeah,
he was the guy who you never heard of. I'm not saying he was ever an all-star or anywhere close, but you know the guy's name, and then to be able to represent in the Olympics with the best of the best on in the sand is pretty impressive too. So,
yeah.
shout out
And
to Chase
not
Budinger.
not only that, you said he was like he was a decent player. He was an All American in high school, was a McDonald's All American, and him and Kevin Durant were the co MVPs of that game. So he had a good game back in his day,
Dang, not bad. To be any to be in any sort of conversation with Kevin Durant and
right?
basketball is unless you're talking about like injuries or something, it's definitely a good thing.
Heck yeah, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Since I couldn't interest you in the previous, what about this one? Simone Biles uses Mamba mentality, battling through injuries to not only help herself get the an all-around gold, but the team as well.
Yeah, you can raise all day with them, dude.
Okay,
Simone
all
Biles and
right.
those girls, man, they're crazy good.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome. So they won the team gold. I know there was a lot of hate actually from one of the internal people. There was a former Olympian that
Hmm.
was on the team, Michaela, not Michaela Maroney, but there was another Michaela that was kind of talking crap. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I saw that, and then Simone tweeted about like lazy, unconditioned, like athletes can't win or something like that, and the girl blocked her. So now there's this whole like we hate each other. But like, come on, man, if they made it there and they're good enough to be in the Olympics, they obviously can't be lazy or not very good at what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Michaela Skinner is the person's name. I just looked it up. But yeah, I don't know exactly what she was talking about. I mean, she was an alternate on one of the teams, so it's not like she even made it to the top level. Now,
True.
granted, she did silver medal on the vault in the 2020 Olympics, but yeah, I don't know. She's just comparing it to the crazy stuff that I know China does to get these girls ready or stuff. I don't know. They
Hmm.
seem to be ready to me. Obviously, the Olympics committee and the judges thought so too because they killed it and won the gold. So props for
Yeah.
the team. So that was
Yeah,
a good
not
one.
not only that, Simone, injured her ankle that first day during warm-ups, and then there's even like clips of her like walking back to the next spot, and she's like limping really bad. But then as soon as she's on her spot, she's ready to go. You can't even tell. Lands her shit and just walks it off. Like, dude, she just is so good. It's crazy.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that she's so good. I like to see two things about Simone that I wanted to add. Obviously, I'm kind of a big fan. I talked about her. I'm the trophy case that is just overflowing with medals at this point. But I really like that her husband and her like really support each other in their respective sports. He's an NFL player. And so I like to see him in the crowd just like just cheering his face off. It's really cool to see. And the second thing is that stat that I believe I told you about last night. Since 1976, there hasn't been one person in the all around for women's gymnastics to win gold. Every single one since 1976 has been under 20 years old. Not 20. They've all been at teens from 14 all the way to 19. This year's all around winner was Simone Biles at 27.
Damn.
She's literally damn near double the age of some of the other gold medalists from back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Wow.
And she herself has the gold all around in the 2016 ones when she was 19. So now here again at 27. Obviously, it's not something I went and looked at the names. Nobody has ever repeated. It's since 1976. Again, I'm not saying maybe beforehand they had, but since 1976, nobody has repeated. She's the only one, and she's doing it at almost 30 years old when you should be completely out of gymnastics. She should be a coach right now. Basically.
I was going to say, when you're pushing 30 in gymnastics, you are like ancient. That's crazy that she's still doing that. And some of the things she's doing, people have never done, like the double backflip off the vault thing the other day. Like, dude, she's so good.
Yeah, setting the bar extremely high. America, baby. Props to you, Simone. Shout out. And that little goat necklace you got going on. I know she has that quote that she talks about. She just feels like she's Simone Biles from, I forgot what city she's from, but from whatever city. And it's just crazy to her to think that, she's arguably the best gymnast ever. Definitely the best American gymnast ever.
Oh, yeah, by far. Yeah, she's, like I said, she's got it all, man.
Props, Simone. Congrats. Thanks for bringing more gold home for the U.S.
All right. Well, we're going to go from the high to probably the low with this topic.
Okay.
The Seine is too polluted for competition. Well, at least we'll just delay it a day and see if it gets better.
This is the thing where it's about like that river that everybody was on, and they're talking about competing for triathlete swimming or for rowing or something.
Mm-hmm. And it's very, very dirty.
But they swam in it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just figure it out.
It's just Olympians. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? As much as that sounds fun, that's a dirty subject. Let's go ahead and fold on that one. Let's move on to brighter things.
I don't blame you.
Okay. All right. This one is something that again, watching the other day, I think I mentioned it, that I'm learning something. Here's a new one that I got for you, okay? USA women's rugby scores insane last-second goal for bronze.
You know what? I actually am going to raise you because I knew this happened, but I don't know all the details and how or why or how good USA Rugby is in the first place.
Okay, so according to, because I don't know, again, I'm learning a little bit more about rugby and then watching the replay. We're going to show the replay in a moment, but just a quick setup. They basically, people who know that we all don't watch rugby, equated it to a 99-yard touchdown return with no time left on the clock.
Oh, okay.
So it's a miracle thing, right? It was, I mean, you Music City Miracle, basically. It's that. It deserves its own name. It's so insane. Like, that's how crazy this play was. They had them dead in the water. And the crazy part is we're playing Australia. This is their sport. Australia, New Zealand, this is their thing. So not only to be able to come back at the last second, to do it against Australia and to do it for a medal, it was insane. Do you want to show the clip? You want to watch this clip real quick?
Yeah, let's check this shit out.
All right. It's crazy. Ooh. And you can see how she landed in the middle right there.
Yeah.
And that's why she had the kick so close, because and she needed that kick, because if not for the kick, they would have tied. So those 2 extra points is what put them over the middle. But dude, what a freaking run. As soon as she broke that one, gone.
Dude, and that was a hell of a run. And then not only that, USA's never won anything for women's rugby. So to cap off getting a medal like that, that's amazing. And did I notice too that when she kicked the extra point thing, like she didn't really have a holder. She just punted it essentially.
You basically a lot of from what I saw, because I watched a highlight of the men's game actually when they beat the crap. Dude, some of these guys are insane. Rugby is super fun, to be honest with you. They kind of they kind of like hit the ground. It kind of like bounces up at
Oh,
their
they do
foot.
the
So they kind of
bounce.
toss it at the ground and it like bounces up just above their foot, and that's how they kind of kick it in. Yeah, it's super cool, super interesting. But just props to the U.S. women's team. You can see from the highlight, there's tears on both sides. Australia not believing that they just blew a medal in a
Yeah.
sport that they are basically supposed to they have the handle on, and the U.S. team just so shocked that it happened and just elated
Wow.
that they medaled, like you said, for the first time. So, yeah, it was a really cool moment, especially obviously as an American.
Well, hopefully they can build on it, and when they come play in 2028 here in LA, that the USA is maybe back in that title game. Maybe they can go
Yeah,
for the gold
true.
next time.
Yeah, nice. And if they need funding, hit up Flava Flav, and
Yeah,
maybe
there
he
you
could
go.
start passing it out a little bit more.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I like that one.
All right. So my next one here for you is I don't know if you've watched a lot of fencing. Obviously, again, this is the Olympics. We're watching sports we
Oh
don't
yeah, no,
typically watch.
tons. Yeah.
Remember, I had a roommate who did fencing, so we know a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
about it.
Jeremy. It was Jeremy, right? That was his name.
John Otto.
John. Okay.
Yeah. But Nada Hafez, who was competing in fencing, turns out after she won her first match, she let the world know that not only is she competing in the Olympics, she is 7 months pregnant while doing so.
7 months, not like one,
Yeah.
not like two, like
Yeah.
on the verge of giving birth.
Yeah.
I wonder if that creates a bigger. Okay, sorry. Let's check this one. Sorry, I forgot we're playing this game. Check. Let's check. I wonder if that creates like a bigger hitbox.
I mean, technically, that probably is not the wrong way of thinking. I didn't think about that part, but yeah, that's probably true.
You know what I mean? Like it's even closer to the opponent. So
Yeah,
winning a
true.
match when they have an advantage because they don't have to reach as far to hit your belly. Again, it's not obviously it bends and stuff. It's not
Well,
doing you
yeah, but
damage or anything,
still.
but it's still like the touch is what counts because it's got the sensors to know that you've been hit. So props. But I mean, honestly, dude, when I have a headache, bro, I can't do
Dude, right?
anything, let alone being on the
I
verge
thought
of
when they
giving
announced
a
that she
birth to a
did
human.
this, somebody on Twitter was like, "Oh, but Garrett Cole is like sore and can't throw today. Can't pitch. He's too tired." Like, but this lady over here, 7 months pregnant, she's fencing in the Olympics. Like, that's
Yeah,
just. And
props to her.
we talked about it too when we were prepping. That you mentioned like that'd be like my sister when she had her kid like doing fencing, and I was like, "Damn, that's true. No way.
Yeah.
What the hell?"
No, it's insane. It's insane. But okay, real quick, props to her. But to try to defend Garrett Cole a little bit, I mean, this lady only has an opportunity once every 4 years. Garrett
True.
Cole pitches annually, so
That's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
this you're gonna have to move around. It's hey but props for doing it. You know what I mean? Because yeah, like I said, if my arm hurts that day, I'm out
Right.
of commission. All right, cool. That was a good one. I like that one.
All right, what you got, sir?
All right, next one here. 4x400. This is a mixed relay on the track. The U.S. team sets a world record by over a second. Unfortunately, it was in a heat, not for a medal.
Well, I was about to say one word until you said that second half of that sentence, so I'm going to go ahead and fold that sentence. That's cool that they set the world record, but if it's in a heat and not for the actual medal yet, then what if they end up ultimately not placing, and then it's like, cool, you got a world record, but you also didn't win when it counted the most. So
Yeah. Prop to your point. Props for a world record. I think that's awesome. I'm hoping they can continue that pace and they eventually do medal. But the world record was sent in the first heat of the mixed 4x4. I think it just goes men, woman, man, woman as far as the race. And
okay,
they were a stretch. They were almost an entire straightaway ahead of second place, which is why they were able to set that world record. So, but to your point, it was just a heat. Go prove it for the medal.
yeah.
We'll revisit. How about that?
When we do week 2 recap, if they've done it, we'll have them back on.
All right. Sounds good. So folding on that one. Okay. All right. I think we got maybe one or two more.
Yep.
Let's what you got for me this one?
So obviously USA basketball is winning and going to win this whole thing up unless something crazy happens against Germany. But USA basketball DNP is going on during this tournament.
Yeah, this is a lot of talk, especially because on the networks that we watch a lot, basketball, all of these obviously are NBA players, so there's obviously always a storyline getting tied back to the NBA. So I'm definitely going to raise this one just because it's something that's very prominent. Even if you're not into the Olympics, this is something that's constantly talked about. So I know the first one was who against who?
Jason Tatum didn't
Yeah,
play in the
Tatum.
first game. Then they didn't play Embiid in the second game. But again, Kerr talked about it when being interviewed. Like this is a different way of playing in a tournament. This isn't the typical NBA series. Like every matchup and one game at a time is going to depict who plays and who doesn't. I mean, you have 12 all NBA guys. You can't play all 12 in 40 minutes. You have 8 less minutes in an NBA game on top of it, and you're trying to cram all
True.
these guys in there. And they're all, I mean, LeBron, AD, KD, like they're talented everywhere. So it's going to be hit or miss on a couple guys here and there. So I don't think it's a huge deal, but I think it's, as you said, the TV channels we watch are making it a bigger deal than it probably needs to be.
Yeah, Nick Wright kind of said it too. He kind of broke it down. He's like, okay, so let's talk about Jason Tatum. Okay, who is he not taking? He's not going to be taking Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards minutes. He's not going to be taking Derek White, Drew Holiday, right? He's not taking those minutes. Those are the guards. He's not taking Bam or Embiid, or he's not taking those. So who's he competing against? LeBron, KD, and those guys are better than him right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So at the position, it's very specific, obviously. But yeah, he's not taking AD's spot. That's not his role. He's not taking Bam's spot. He's only got a limited number of places to play as it is. And then, you're competing against arguably the two best players in the world, at least at this time. They're making it known. LeBron is killing it. So yeah, I mean that one. And then the Embiid one, Kerr basically explained it, and I kind of agree. South Sudan, nobody is like big. They're not be tall, right? But they're not big. They're fast. And so we need AD and Bam out there, not Embiid. It's not against like Serbia where you're going against Jokic and we need the big bruiser. So I don't think there was as much talk about it for Embiid as there was for Tatum. I think that a lot more people were not alarmed is the wrong word, but questioning whether or not Tatum should have been out there. They won regardless, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But
that's the thing. They're gonna win, so it doesn't really matter now. But again, it's all matchup based in this time. It's like the NCAA tournament. It's one game at a time. I know it's not win or lose in the pool round, but eventually it gets to that. Mm-hmm. So every game matters, and you got to just play the best matchups and hope you can get that victory and move on to the next one and rotate the guys through that need to be in there. So it is what it is. That's what you sign up for when you go to the Olympics. You can't anticipate to everybody, 5 guys are going to play 30 minutes. Like, that's not how this works.
Yeah, and I don't really know how to take how Tatum's taking it. I know there was a lot of alliteration. But in the sense that, like, I know he was asked about it, and he says, oh, it's humbling. Like, I don't. Does that mean he's taking it well? Does that mean he doesn't like it? I don't.
I think it might be a little bit of both. Like he's taking it, but he's also not happy about it. But I think this also might be something that comes back to bite the Celtics next year because then he's going to come out with a vengeance. Like I'm here to prove everyone I am the man because I didn't get to play in the Olympics, and hopefully that screws up him and Jaylen Brown, and the Celtics don't win again next year. So
perhaps. I mean, I'm down for the Celtics not to win. Nick Wright is taking it a different way. Nick Wright, to just counter your point, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I don't disagree with it either. I think it's just a point. Is that a lot of times these teams is the reason why we haven't had a repeat team in so long is because of complacency. Well, their best player, arguably, depending on who you ask and which day, because obviously Jaylen Brown could make a case for that as well, is going to have this new chip on his shoulder because he didn't get to showcase himself in the Olympics. That's Nick's point. I could see both sides to your point. There's 4 Celtics that were involved. One's not technically even involved in this whole thing with Drew, Derek, Jason, and Jaylen. So yeah, maybe it could throw off some. I'm down for them to lose, bro.
Plus, also you mentioned there's 4 Celtics on this team. Like they just played in the finals, and they've been in the conference finals like every year, for 5 years. So at some point, war of attrition, like the Warriors, it's going to come back to bite you. So already Kristaps Porzingis is out for the start of the season. If Jaylen or them get hurt early and they falter down, like Boston could be, at a 4 or 5 seed, and it all be over before it even gets started. So, but again, that's a ways away. But as a Laker fan, we're always rooting for the Celtics to lose. So,
woo. Blue Celtics, nice. Yeah, that was a good one. I like basketball. I don't know if I want to stop, man. Actually, you can't. You know what they say? You can't leave the table on a heater.
That's true. It's a good point.
Okay, so let's play one more hand. Last hand, Corey.
Okay.
What else you got for me?
All right, so this one's kind of been going all over the internet lately, and everyone's talking about it. Yusef Dikech, the 51-year-old gentleman who's in the shooting competition, and not only just killing it, but killing it with barely any, I don't know, equipment or
tools, equipment,
everybody else.
Yeah, that's so true. He's from Turkey, I believe. I believe he got the silver medal, and he goes up there. To your point, 51-year-old guy, so a lot older than a lot of people in this competition. Most people, honestly, most people who compete in the Olympics are, I feel like,
Yeah,
30 and under, right?
yeah, for
Depending on the
sure.
sport, but that's most of the time. You're just the youth is what's winning. And he goes out there, dude, shooting. They've got all these very technical goggles and these
Dude,
other
for
super
real.
headbands, and they're all like all the distancing, and they have all these crazy angles that they're looking at. And he just goes out there with like his glasses, his reading glasses that he breaks down
He's
the
got one hand
crossword
in his
puzzle off.
pocket. What are you talking about? He's like a
Yeah, bro.
dad. He's like, yeah, I've got this. Boom, I went cool.
Yeah, and then he's just like I've heard. I think there's a quote from him afterwards, like, "Yeah, I don't know. This just I'm just good at shooting, so this
Yeah,
is what it is." Like, damn. All right, well, I don't really need to try. I just kind of go out there and pop, pop, pop. All right, cool.
I
My medal.
wonder.
All right, cool. Thank you.
I wonder how many more Olympics he can make now, and what his oldest age that he can compete would be at and set the record. I'm sure he's got to be like, I know somebody's a little bit older than him, and I want to say table tennis this Olympics, so he's not the oldest person competing.
Probably that would make
But I
sense.
would think, I mean, if he's that good and it doesn't take very much time to practice, you would think he'd be able to make it in another 4 years, maybe another 8 years, and just go up there and poop poop, and then just
Why
collect your
not?
medal and go home.
It's not very athletic. I don't mean it that that doesn't take any skill,
No,
but it's
but
just
I
not
well,
athletic. To your point,
especially
yeah.
when he does it so easily, it looks like it doesn't take any skill.
Apparently, we have to watch out for Anthony Edwards to be a table tennis player. So,
Yeah, I've
yeah,
seen
yeah,
that. I've
you
seen
got to
that.
watch out for that. So, well, this was another edition of Razorfold. Hopefully, you guys all enjoyed it. Let us know down in the comments below what your favorite Olympic event is and what you've enjoyed. Apologies about this year's games. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Thank you as always for seeing things from our view from the bench. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace.
This was a Sycamore Fourth Studios production.